Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I'm here today with a very special edition of Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Love During Lockup, Word on the Street. I'm coming to you with an exclusive interview with two cast members that will be on this upcoming season of Love During Lockup, which is set to premiere on January 30th. In case you have not heard by now, the new season of Love During Lockup is set to premiere on January 30th. And not only is Monique back with a new man, but there is another storyline which is very unsettling, in my opinion, and that is Emily and Justin. If you haven't checked out my prior Word on the Street, where I reported on Justin's friends blasting Emily all over Facebook, and ultimately how Emily and Justin's storyline ended. You might want to check it out before you check out this interview with Justin's friends, Brittany and Liz. Brittany and Liz were very close to Justin, and they are going to explain why they believe a combination of factors, including Emily and the show, led up to Justin taking his own life in prison this past July. So these are very close friends of his. They have been blasting Emily all over social media, and I wanted to give them the opportunity and the platform to talk about their experiences with Justin, their experiences with Emily, and with the show, and why they believe that the show may have had a factor in everything that led up ultimately to Justin taking his life this past July. Um, Brittany and Liz wanted to do the interview today, Sunday, December 7th, because today is Justin's heavenly birthday. And we also talk about that in the interview. This interview is very emotional and heartfelt, so make sure you have your tissues handy. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. At the end of the interview, I will be putting in messages from Justin to both Brittany and Liz. So that's basically it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe if you don't already. Double check that you are subscribed. Share with a friend or 10. Make sure you like and comment. And once again, thank you so much to Brittany and Liz for sitting down with me and being so open. So there are two young women who were very involved in Justin's life, and unfortunately, they are feeling the pain of his passing in many, many ways. So I would like to introduce to you his two very good friends. We have Brittany and Liz. Thank you guys for joining me. Um,
Yes.
I want to start off with your relationship with Justin. I want to start from the beginning. So,
Oh,
Brittany, how did you meet Justin? How did you know him? Tell me the story.
um, 18 years ago, we met at like a house party. I was like 16. We met at a house party. Very quickly began dating. Me and him actually dated back then. And he did go to prison like rather quickly. Like he was on the run whenever I actually met him. He was just wanted for questioning though. For he beat somebody up. But ultimately, like well, as we were dating, he like he had his grandma. Like he went to his grandma's house occasionally. You know, she lived in the same town, and like I would go there. But he actually was like homeless at the time. He refused to tell his grandma. His family had no idea. His mom
How
was, and
old was he?
he would have been 18.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was. His mom was locked up in down in near, like Greensburg area, Venango County, maybe.
Okay.
Um, and so he was homeless. He was living above this laundromat, this shack, like in the middle of winter. And like I would, ride my bus to school. I would get off at the junior high actually, and I would go and like stay there with him. Weekends I would stay there with him. We slept. He had a car. We would sleep in his car at this graveyard in the town. Like so that was like it was pretty quick.
Right, right.
Our relationship, but it was we got very close really quick also. We started dating like November of 2008.
Okay.
And then he was picked up because he did commit burglaries to survive. I mean, I'm not making an excuse for him, like
Right.
it was wrong. And he was self-aware of that, he knew. He was just too proud, he wasn't gonna tell his family he needed help. And so, he did commit burglaries while he was wanted for questioning. And so they picked him up that following March. I think it was March 4th, 2009. And, he was incarcerated. He got like, I think a 1 to 5. He did like a year and a half. He had gotten out. Now, also, I want to add, like, our relationship also is toxic too, especially with him going to prison. I'm 16. I want to party. I want to do all the things. So, I wasn't necessarily like, I wasn't faithful. I wasn't in a position to hold someone down in prison. You know what I mean?
Right. No.
Um, and like, I guess for us, like out here, our life's moving and there, his life's standing still.
Yeah.
And, I didn't, I'm not going to grasp that at 16, 17 years old.
Right.
So, I did, I like had other, boyfriends while he was incarcerated. And then he had gotten out sometime in, what would it be, 2011,
Okay.
we'll say. Because he did like a year and a half, 2010 or 2011, one of the two.
Right.
I think it was 2010, actually, sorry. And he went to a halfway house.
Okay.
And I was going, like I was leaving my boyfriend, I'm going with him. I'm like 18 years old, and I got caught in like a snowstorm and he thought I wasn't coming, right? Like it was like total whiteout. I'm like on the interstate, side of the road. I ended up having to get off like an exit and go to my aunt's house. And her husband gave me a ride like after the snowstorm.
Right.
But like he was able to leave the halfway house and go to like the mall. It was in Erie. He was able to go like to the mall or, different things, put in job applications, I presume, stuff like that. He went to the mall and then just didn't get on the bus to go back. So he ran from the halfway house and, we had picked him up and basically I went on the run together. I wasn't really running from anything, but like my mom was like searching for it. It was a big old thing. But yeah, so that was like our relationship. We were together that time, but he was pretty angry. Because I wasn't, there for him like was now, I guess, like I there we went through for periods where we didn't talk while he was in jail that first time.
Right.
So, like he was angry and our relationship just got very toxic. And I would say like a month or two before he got picked up again, he started like we like split up and he actually committed another burglary. But this time I think there was like a gun involved.
Okay.
Um, but he stole it. Like I've never seen him actually like use a gun. I know. Like I don't even think he knows how, to be honest.
Right.
But he would carry them, I guess, and he did, take one from a house. So he had stolen a gun, like he, robbed a house and he got a gun. So I'd say like 2 months prior to him being picked up, like we split up and then he got picked up for that. Like he got put in prison for that. So that's his second, he got a 5 to 10.
Right.
And then basically our breakup was pretty like not great. So I mean I did go visit him a few times, but we didn't really keep in contact like on a daily basis or anything like that.
Right.
And then whenever he got out in March of 2018, we reconnected. I was, now I've had 2 kids, I've been married, you know what I mean? I've been divorced and,
Right.
now I'm with my, fiance, now. So, a lot had changed, but like we did reach out to one another, and he did try to pursue me, but like I just wasn't. Um, I just knew that he needed to, just get out and like live his life.
Exactly.
And because there's like a part where, and I told him this so many times, like, like when he gets out, he kind of, all that time he's missed, he kind of tries to make up for it. And I was just like past that. Like, I don't even drink or, I don't go out, so I wasn't really, I didn't really match the lifestyle he wanted, I
At the
guess.
same stage that he was.
Right, yeah, because he wanted the fast life, which that was cool 10 years ago, but so I it just wasn't gonna work. But we
Right.
did remain friends, and then that's kind of when
Yeah.
me and him, we still talked and kept in touch. But then he met Liz, and then they started, their relationship. So,
So
but
Liz, tell me about your relationship with Justin.
So I met Justin at a party. He was with a girlfriend at the time. She like me and her were kind of friends. I don't know. Like we kind of hung out at the party, whatever. And then he went and peed behind like a car, and she thought I was like looking at his stuff, and we got in like they got in an argument. And then the next day, actually, like he reached out to me and messaged me and was like, hey, like I thought we could get together, maybe have drinks sometime. And I was like, you were just with Brittany last night, like this is a
other
different
Brittany.
Brittany.
Hey,
um
another Brittany.
Not
so
me.
and I was like, I don't know. And then we ended up, yeah, getting together. And then he did have his shit together. Like he had a car. He was living with his grandparents at the time, but he had his own little like den upstairs and whatever.
Right.
I was staying there a lot. At this time I was, what would I have been, like 18, 19? I was 18, 19.
2018. What were you in 2018?
I don't know, like 18 or 19. I was something around
And
there.
this was
Um,
after the second time he served time and he came out.
yes.
Yes.
So 2018 it started. He Okay, so what was I gonna say? Oh my god. Okay, so I ended up staying with him a lot. Well, I wasn't in a good place mentally at the time. I mean, I was 18, 19, living like a kid still, doing whatever I did. I also was getting in trouble with the law myself. So I knew, okay, well, he kept that all from me. He didn't tell me he was on parole. He didn't tell me anything. I didn't know up until 4 months of us dating that he was on state parole.
Yeah.
And
You'd never know just looking at him.
yeah,
He really
like
carried himself well.
he never told me anything. And then I did find out, and I was like okay with it. I'm like, I'm on probation also. Like I kept all that from him also.
Okay.
So it was like toxic. And I would tell him I would be going to work, and I wouldn't be going to work. So I kind of drove him a little crazy.
I heard about
Just
it.
a little, right?
Yeah,
Just a
just a
little.
little.
Call me a bitch.
Yeah, he would call her a bitch. And yeah, so I was just in a bad point of state at that time, doing things I should not have been doing. I didn't want to tell him after I found out he was on state parole what I was doing. Well, he ended up finding out what I was doing, and he was like, let's just do it together. And I was like, I don't want to take you down this road. I'm spiraling right now. I'm not in a good mental state. I'm like, can we just like try to maybe work this together and not do it? And like, we just kind of just spiral together like some Bonnie and Clyde type shit. Like, got arrested together, kicked the door in, like SWAT team, all the whole 9 yards. So
U.S. Marshals.
U.S. Marshals, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, we were toxic. And when he did get arrested, I found out that I was pregnant. Um, I did end up miscarriaging. Um,
Sorry.
Like a month.
a month or so. Yeah, it was like I was like almost 2 months. But he was kind of devastated over that.
And then, like, whenever they kicked in the door and stuff, that's whenever, he went to jail the
Yeah,
third time
the third time.
for burglary, same
Right.
thing, and got another 5 to 10.
Right.
But yeah, so that was that situation. And that's how he was in jail this time. So
So I want to ask you, Brittany,
mm,
what qualities drew you to Justin?
mysterious, He has, I've never met a man that man like is like, he's not afraid of nothing. Like I've never like, I don't know if we can even talk about this, but like, just an example, someone had broken into their apartment
Yeah, I have
and
videos of
stole
still. I was looking.
and stole like the TV, the Xbox, things like that. And he found out who it was on his own. And he walked his ass right in their house and took his TV off their wall and took his stuff back and walked with it on his arm back to his, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like that's just how he was. But I believe, I don't know, was it this time? I'm pretty sure there was a child that those people had that didn't really have a lot of stuff, and he like wanted to give like the Xbox back to the kid. You know what I mean? So um he he did bad shit, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't a monster. Yeah,
Right.
he wasn't a monster. So, but yeah, just
He just cared overly, like, too much,
yeah, and
probably, like, and that really hurt him in the whole situation with Emily, because when he cares about somebody, he cares way too much.
Yeah, like he's really invested. He loves like super hard, and I think, whenever I first met him, like he was on the run, like, oh my gosh, 16 sounds exciting,
Right. Right. Exactly.
we were, staying, in cars that above that laundromat and that like shack, hotels, well, motels, stuff like that, so it was very exciting. But yeah, like he just had this, I don't know, this like aura about him. Like you always found out something new about him every day. He was super intelligent. He got out of prison at one time. Opened like an LLC. Like was gonna, well, he started it actually.
He got 2 business degrees in prison.
Yeah, 2 business degrees, and like he, started doing those, and then I think your guys' relationship kind of
Just spiraled. Yeah.
But yeah, like
Right.
he really had great potential. He was super good looking. That man
Yeah.
is like, he is hot. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But yeah, like he's really just a genuine person. And like the sensitivity side too, like he kind of keeps that under wraps, but like, if you get to know him and stuff, like he's, he is sensitive and stuff, and a lot of men don't show that, I guess, so
He's very sensitive.
yeah. So, and yeah, just in his childhood too, like he had a rough upbringing.
Yeah.
So that kind of, drew me to him as well, because we could kind of relate there.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Liz, how did your relationship change with him when he went back to jail for the third time?
So it really, like, I was broken. So I, like, still was doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. I was still spiraling. Like, I just lost him, and I'm like stunned. Like, he got arrested. He said he was gonna, like, kill himself, jump out the window, and he wasn't going back to jail for the third time. Like, I was just, like, so stunned. And then, like, 2 weeks into it, I found out I was pregnant, and then I was really, like, having, like, a serious mental breakdown. And so I stayed single for, like, a whole year after. And just kind of did me, worked on myself after I lost the baby. And then, like, we did talk almost every day. I mean, I tried to talk to him, but we didn't get re close. Like, I ended up getting a boyfriend back in, what, 2020, and my dad ended up committing suicide. So on top of all of that, like, I had to deal with, like, all of that, process all of that. Well, me and him didn't end up starting close back probably until, like, 21, and then we were, like, talking every day. I mean, up until he met Emily, we talked every day, pretty much on the phone. Even if I didn't answer every day, it was like every other day.
Right.
Like, he was just my mental support. Like, he was just so mentally there for me and knew everything about me, and, like was my therapist almost, I guess. And, like, I kind of wanted to be his therapist, but I, like, knew that I was just going through so much shit, and
Yeah.
I wish I would have been there for him more and listened to him more and seen the signs more. But
So I want to ask you, Brittany, about placing the ad for him and
Mhm.
how you started putting him in Facebook groups. Tell me how that came about.
So like me and him talked every day, but we were friends. Like we built a tremendous friendship. Like I couldn't ask for a better, friendship. And like I was in control of his social media. Like, he had me like post, stuff or message people or, all the stuff like that. So he was lonely though. Like he wanted more like intimacy.
Because I couldn't give him that at the time. Like, I don't know. Like, we were just like best friends, and like he would be like, "Oh, show me your tits," and I would just be like, "Well, I have a boyfriend. I'm not really comfortable with that right now." And like he wanted more of that like sexual drive, and I was just like, "Justin, like I love you to death. I'm riding this out with you. Like you're my best friend. Like I'm gonna be there for you." And I couldn't give him that side that Emily was giving him.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Justin kind of matured also, a little, before he went to jail this time. So he, was like he knew that she had moved on, and like he was okay with that. Like he told her like you.
But at the end of the day, he was still like, "Oh, you're gonna leave him and you get out and be with me."
Yeah, he definitely had
Like,
that, but
at the end of the day, he was still like convinced that's what was happening.
yes,
Like you're gonna see me the first time I get out, and you're gonna be like drop to the ground. Like I'm like, okay,
You're gonna melt in a puddle.
yeah, like
Melt in a puddle. Yes.
yes, yeah. That's like another thing that drew me to him. Passionate.
yeah.
Passion. Yes. So
You
the ad.
were controlling his social media.
Yes.
Messaging.
I still have it. But yeah, so I he was having me post them on like Facebook groups like pen pal sites, and not really like a whole lot of luck there. So he wanted to try Facebook dating. So I got in there, I made him like a little thing. I was like, but I made sure, I'm like, listen, I know it's I'm like, I'm just being blunt, so I don't have to have the awkward conversation with anybody. And I put right on there, I'm incarcerated. So I just nipped that right in the bud. And so yeah, he was just searching for companionship, just somebody to be more more than friends with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I wasn't giving it to him. Like me and my fiance, like my fiance talked to him sometimes more than I did, they would, talk sports. My fiance would place bets for him, on like FanDuel, things like that. He loved his sports. So yeah, like we just had, just a very, that was our relationship. So he just wanted more than that. And so I placed those ads, and he did have people message him. But actually Emily, I don't know if she saw those or not, but she responded through his messenger and said, like, because she had sent a friend request, and like I said, I would put up my tablet and kind of turn the camera around so he could see my phone and kind of go through his social media. So he saw the message, and had me respond to her, so that was kind of how that transpired.
So did you know her before she messaged him?
Me? No,
No.
I did not. No.
But Liz, you did.
Yes.
But me and her didn't talk.
Really talk very much. I used her account to like video call Justin occasionally because me and him could not have like contact really.
Or he'd have me like message her and relay a message or something. Yeah, that was like mine and her relationship.
Right. Were you technically not supposed to be in contact with him because of legal stuff, or okay.
Yeah.
So so you said you worked with Emily at one point, Liz?
Yeah, I was like up there helping her at like her shop, and we were just friends, like hanging out, doing inventory and all that stuff. And then Justin would call me, he called me like every day, and like I answered, and she'd just be back there like doing her clothes and listening. And so she knew the situation, she knew about him, she knew of him,
She knew his name.
Yeah. Everything. And then so Brittany told me that she did add him, and then message him.
Yeah.
She did say that she knew me in that message.
Yeah, she told me that she's
on
like,
the message.
Me and his ex are friends.
But when Justin didn't tell me, I mean, he still called me every day after they were talking. They started talking January.
Yeah.
So he still called me like every day, and I didn't figure this out until she posted a screenshot of like the jail number on Snapchat.
Oh wow.
And I sent it to her, and I was like,
what? And I lied.
I said, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I was like,
is this Justin? Yeah. And she was like, no, I don't know. And
because I mean, my loyalty's lied with Justin, you know, and that's his place. I don't want to know.
Right. And I was like, and then so Justin lied to me like up to 3 weeks, and finally was like, okay, yeah, I am talking to Emily. And I'm like, she's only doing this because me and her were friends and she had a falling out and she wanted to find someone to be on Love After Lockup. Like, she said this to me so many times. And he was like, no, you're lying. And then 2 weeks into the conversation, he calls me again. We don't talk because we had like a falling out. And then he called me 2 weeks later and was like, please, Liz, like, you're the only one who truly knows me. Like, I want you to be on Love After Lockup. Like, I need you to be on Love After Lockup. Like, you're the only one who knows me. And I'm like, I argued with him for 3 weeks. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. The producers like harassed me every day, and I was like, okay, like, I guess I'll do it. And I did it, and I regret a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brittany, what did he tell you about Emily and his relationship with her?
So they began talking the beginning of January.
Right,
And honestly, because like we talked all the time, we visited all the time. And I didn't hear from him a lot between like January and like March, like maybe some messages, maybe a phone call once a week, but it wasn't like daily, like normal,
right,
But he did tell me, he's like, like, I'm sorry, like, she just wants all my attention, and and he felt good, and I knew that, you know what I mean? Like he craved that. He was lonely. He'd been in there 6 years at this point.
right.
So I was fine with it. And I was like, just yeah, take the floor, get to know her, but to me and Justin, it was this is just for companionship. This was not
Yeah.
going to be some long-term relationship, not some, maybe a few bucks and some companionship. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
really it. And it definitely, I would say, like March, beginning of April, he's like, I love this girl.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like obsessive.
Yeah, like it would like threw me for a loop. Like, and like he was really invested in her, probably
Like, to the point he was even using me to like message her and be like, oh, hey, reach out to her and be like, see if she'll collab with you, see if she's still doing collabs, like, just please, Elizabeth, just do this for me. And like, I reached out to her and messaged her and texted her and was like, yo, will you do a collab with me? Don't tell Justin, fuck Justin, like exactly what he told me to say to her.
Right.
And then
which she was still doing.
she was still doing it. She like went down, like wrote me a big message like stating like how I go about it, where we could collab, all this stuff. And
I'd say
like,
that's like when they started, like
yeah.
when their relationship went
And
down.
just to clear it up for the viewers, what
But
were you trying to collab with her on, Liz?
like OnlyFans, Pornhub, any type of like collabs, because she was telling him that they were not doing collabs whatsoever.
yeah, and I guess I should mention when she had reached out to me, well, to him, his Facebook. I
Right.
mean, me. She's like, how do you think he'd feel? Like, like I'm not just on OnlyFans. Like, like I have 5 businesses and I, do Pornhub and I'm a like legal brothel, all this stuff. And I'm like, and like I said at the time, companionship, because in real life, hell no. Justin would not go
I
for
know.
that shit
No.
at all. I mean, like if you're his girl, you're his girl. He's not gonna share you. And but to my knowledge, it's just companionship, and that's it. And so I'm like, he'll love your drive. That's why, like I said to her, and I'm like, he's real laid back, and so that's how that kind of started. And then once he fell in love,
Yeah,
somehow, some way, um, like their first issue was she did, I guess, a collab.
yeah.
And he like knew it, like he was distraught. He did not like that. He's like, the ranch is one thing. Is it the ranch or whatever, wherever she
Yeah.
were, the brothel,
Right.
that's one thing, but like, seeking out like individual people, and he's like, I don't like that. And then that's when she had made the, like, I won't do this again,
Right.
so that was that situation. So
Oh, did he look at her job at the brothel kind of like a 9 to 5 type thing and just leave it there? Because you said that when you're in a relationship with Justin, he doesn't share you like your
No, he does not.
No, and I'm not saying like he's like psycho or anything like that,
Right,
but
right.
like
No, no,
they're
no.
his,
Right,
you know,
right.
like they're
Exactly.
his.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be okay with it. Hell no, you know. So
So, what did he say about her working at the brothel? Did that bother him? Like,
at first, no. Like I said, it was just, like the first thing he had me ask her was like, "Hey, can you send a photo book?" Like he was just really starving for like attention in
Yeah.
that kind of way. And so like at first, no. And then,
He
like
fell in love, and
and
it
then
was just like
yeah,
got crazy.
yeah, and like once he like fell in love, then it was like, I'm telling him like, Justin, like, I know you, this is not gonna work. Like
Yeah.
it's just not gonna work out. You know that. Like, what are you gonna do when she's, in Las Vegas or whatever, working at the ranch? Like, you're gonna go visit family? Like, no, better. You're not. You're gonna, chase her down. Like you're not gonna be okay with it. And like he just tried to convince me, but I know better, because like that's he actually wrote, where is that, one of his biggest flaws. He wrote
Oh yeah.
this thing, because we picked up like all his
Will it
belongings.
says will lie to protect others' feelings.
Yes. So that is one thing like he will do. Like, he really wanted me and her to get along. He's
Yeah.
like, I can't take you and Emily like not getting along, like, so, whenever I would say these things, he would kind of try to like reassure me like he was fine with it, but I know better, you know what I mean? Like, I just know better.
right,
And I knew it was just gonna be a shit show, essentially. And, and it ended up being like way more than, I
Shit show.
right.
anticipated, for sure. So
Um, Brittany, did you talk to Emily personally at any point?
yes.
Okay,
Like in person, no, like but via like text or
right,
on
right.
Justin's Messenger or something.
Other than filming.
Yeah.
So what was the impression that you got from her?
She didn't really talk to me like about like their relationship. I wouldn't say. It was just mostly like the only time like he would have me reach out and make sure she made her flight, or, like different things like that. Hey, Justin's trying to call, he can't get a hold of you, like I'm gonna do a three-way for him, things like that.
Right.
Um, and then at one point, her video visits got shut down because they actually only visited in person
One
contact
time.
one time.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, here's the letter stating that her trying to like get him back. She was like in the letter,
Any
what
possibility.
we're at. I feel like I can be a positive influence in Justin's life to finally turn his life around.
Yeah, so she was trying to get her video visits back because they revoked them, because she was like a CEO trainee or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Prior, like this, but this was like 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So I allowed them to use my account, and which I regretted because they got it shut down. And the way like the email was worded to me, I assumed it was nudity,
Oh my
like just
goodness.
automatically. So I kind of like,
Right.
I bitched at her, and him. But yeah, so but ultimately what it was the show at that point had been recording visits in the background, and that's why they had shut it down. It was just the way it was worded. I just automatically jumped to conclusions. My bad. But yeah, so that's kind of like the extent of my relationship with her. Like I might have, talked to her, about like Justin, you know what I mean? I think, we did maybe talk about like our past. Well, me, I talk too much. I share too many things. But yeah, like just me, venting, I guess. But nothing like we weren't friends, we didn't hang out. I didn't meet her until filming.
Yeah.
But after like when she lost my video visits, like we I was like, screw this.
Right. Right.
So,
Exactly.
that was kind of the end of that, until
Right.
filming.
So, once Justin told the both of you that he was going to be filming Love After Lockup, and Liz, you said he wanted you to be on the show with him. Brittany, did he want you to be on the show? Did he beg you to?
Yeah, well, he just told me, he's like, you're the only one to have my corner, because I'm like a very private person. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a stay-at-home mom of four. So that's my life.
Right.
So I'm not out there in these type of things. So I was very apprehensive about it. But like his mom passed away while he was in prison.
And he didn't have anybody else to even like throw in his
Yeah.
corner. So I
He
was
didn't really
like,
have anyone. Like all he has is his grandparents. Like his other family lives in Colorado. His dad wasn't involved. His sister, I don't. They've never actually met in person. She was adopted whenever they were, when she was born.
Right.
So like he didn't really have anyone. So I decided to do it. But yeah, like I definitely regretted it after the first day of filming. I went home bawling, and I like messaged him. I'm like, this is the worst experience ever. And he's like, I'm sure you're making it more than it is. Like, don't let them change who you are. Just be yourself, and like. That's just how he was, And he's like, I just need you to be you. I need you to do that for me. So yeah, that's kind of how he had asked me about that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay. So, when did things start spiraling really bad with him?
April.
the beginning of April.
End of March, yeah. End of March, beginning
Yeah,
of April.
beginning of April.
And was that
And
during filming or after
I
filming?
guess they were filming.
They were filming, not us.
Not us. We didn't film till like June.
Yeah.
So they were already filming, which
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. Not to the extent that they were filming. But I mean, I knew that they were going to be. But like at that point, like I maybe did like a Zoom interview or something. You know what I mean? To which actually at first, when he asked me to film, he's like, I just need you to be supportive and da da da. So I'm going in there like, oh, maybe they could be some hot, power couple or something. Like, being
Right.
supportive.
Right.
And but when they actually accepted and like they were, they wanted to film me, and like accepted like for the show, I'm like, Justin, like I can't keep up a persona. I talk too much. I'll slip up. Like I just can't do that.
Right.
So I just went and with exactly how I felt. It's not gonna work. Like get your bag, boo. But it's not for him. It's
Yeah.
just I don't see it happening. So that's kind of how I went into filming that mindset.
Right.
So
Liz, when you went into filming, what was your mindset?
Well, my mindset, I didn't really have a positive one. That's the problem because me and her were friends, like I said, and I know it was just for like the clout and the money on her end. And I said, Justin, this isn't going to be good. My grandparents even said it wasn't going to be good because there's a lot of stuff that can be exposed between me and his
and it
relationship.
depends how they edit it too and make you look,
And like they're like all my family's like, well, you know that he could say this and this, and you got your relationship, just all this stuff. It all factors in. So I told him it's not a good idea, and he just wanted to go about it anyway, and saying he's going to get all these followers and he's going to make something of himself. And
yeah, he
kind of why I went with it, because I'm like, okay, like you're going to make something of yourself. Like I'll do it for you because you've always wanted to be.
that's what
Yeah.
really sold him, because I was like, I watched the show, I looked up a couple of people, I never even heard of it.
I know.
So I was like, I was kind of like,
Right.
but she really sold him because like he made music, he had a guitar, and he had a beautiful voice. And he's like, I can make music and like get it out there, and because I think also, like he didn't want to live a life of crime.
Right.
And but that's what he's used to. And like his childhood really helped move that along too. But I mean also always want to take accountability. He's a big boy, he makes his own decisions. But
Exactly.
I do think he saw it as like he could have an opportunity to not have to go down that path, because when you're in prison they want you to get rid of the criminal mind and the way of thinking, like that. But it's like in there you gotta hustle, you gotta wheel and deal. That's feeding the criminal mind, keeping it alive and well. So
Right.
it was just, he just wanted it for the opportunity, that it could potentially be. And that's what she sold him, whenever she brought it up, which I told him, I'm like, she brought this up, like, isn't this like suspicious to you?
Yeah,
And
like within like 2 weeks of them talking, like,
yeah, like
oh,
it
we'd
was,
be on Love After Lockup. Like, you guys don't even know each other.
yeah,
Liz,
like it was,
Liz, had you heard of the show
Have
before?
I what?
Have you heard of Love After Lockup
No.
before Emily started
Other
talking?
than when she said it when I was like
Right.
in her store, but like I've never watched it.
Right. Okay. So within 2 weeks,
Two
they're
weeks.
Yeah, like it was really
It was
quick.
really quick.
right.
And that's what I said. I'm like, like this doesn't look suspicious because at the time, like him and her aren't seeing eye to eye.
No.
She's like, listen, like she knew who you were.
Yeah.
She's reaching out because she's trying to get
And
back
we're
at
having
me.
arguments.
And and Justin, she's telling Justin like no, and he thinks he has like this, special thing, with her, and he knows the real her. You always,
Yeah, that's what he kept saying. I know the real her. I'm like,
real
who is
her.
that? Who
But
is that?
like, and I think it was like he gets to know people on an emotional level.
Yeah.
And and that really drives him, and he thinks, and I told him like she's gonna put her best foot forward.
Yeah.
Everybody is, like you barely know each other. I mean, known each other how many months. And so like I really tried to get him to open his eyes, but like he just kept making excuses for her, and which he told me in one of the messages I had sent you. He was making excuses for her,
Right. Right.
because he wanted us to me and her to get along. It
Right.
was important to him that we got along.
How was he financially supporting in prison? Like, were you guys sending him money? Was Emily sending him money at one point?
We're not honestly sure. Like, so when we picked up all his stuff, there was a lot of different women.
Yeah.
That we found out about that we had no inkling
Over the
about.
years.
Over the years.
But recently, you,
yeah,
Emily, his gram would send money. His uncle would send money because he'd send it to me to send.
But also he was receiving a lot of cash apps and stuff, like send money here, like move money all these different places.
Yeah,
and we're just like,
cash app.
and we're like confused. So
Yeah.
I don't really know where all that came from. I don't know,
Yeah, the way it was portrayed, like people have stores in there, what I mean? Like they kind of, that's
So
their
that's
hustle.
kinda, I guess,
And
like-
so you send it to their cash app and then he can get it,
Right.
So that's kind of how it was portrayed to me.
Okay.
But I know, like, I did not send him money. I'm in a relationship. I'm not gonna send my husband or my fiance's hard-earned money to another man. I love him to death, and and I've known him, very long time, and he was, one of my first major, boyfriends. But like he respected that though. Like he was very respectful of, of that.
Right.
So,
But a lot of different stuff, like Emily, Justin, I knew, let her pull a credit card out in his name. And so she was like sending him his own money in a way, but making a payment on it, I guess. I don't really know. I know there was one flight trip which she put on there on Snapchat.
yeah, she posted about it and said thanks for the flight, babe, or something like
and
that.
And it was off of his credit card.
Because he had good credit when he went in.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So.
So, okay. So you say that the spiral started end of March, April.
Yeah.
While they were filming. So what exactly started happening? What did you guys notice that was going on with Justin?
What I noticed was he had messaged me, was trying to convince me, right? Like like she's doing great. Like, he's like, I'm not in love with the persona she puts online, like stuff like that. Like I'm in love with the person that's, home and taking her kid, getting her kid up for school and, putting him on the bus, that's who he saw.
Right.
So,
He's
he
in
was
love
trying
with
to
the real Emily and not the
right.
online
Yes.
Emily.
Yes,
Okay.
but it's all Emily. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's and I think he just had, I don't know. But so shit, what was I saying? Oh, how he okay. And so that day he had sent me like, I want to say like two messages, maybe one, possibly two, of convincing me, trying to convince me, like, it's not what you think, it's not gonna turn out how you think it's gonna be, like I'm gonna be okay. I like, because I wanted him to not be with her. Not be with her. I wanted him to go to Colorado with his uncle.
Yes.
His uncle, he would have a great opportunity up there. He could, get a CDL up there. He could drive truck, do, electrical work, different things. And his uncle was willing to house him, until he could get on his feet. But Justin, he, when he met Emily and, things started, escalating between them, she was supposed to make enough money so they could get a house together and, get them set up, and then she was going to stop. And I'm like, nobody that's making, what she say, she makes 30,000 a month,
It's gonna stop.
is going to stop and go work a 9 to 5 for 20
No.
bucks an hour. It's not going to, and I told him that, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, it's not going to happen, but, like, he was just dead set on. So he kind of, moved from, oh, I'm going to go with my uncle to, I'm going to go with Emily. And I'm like, this, like, you're going to end up in prison again, because, like,
It's
you're not going to be okay with this. Like, it's not,
Right.
like,
Right.
and, so that same day when he's trying to convince me, later on, it was like 6 p.m. and it was like titled like, please, Britt, help me, or something like that. And he's like, please message Emily. Da, da, da. Liz just told her, I forget what it was. What'd you tell her? That he was gonna get out and want to be with her, and
I don't even know what I said. I said something
along those lines.
Yeah.
And, he's like, can you please tell her, like, I'm so fucking in love with her, and da da da, and I don't know why Liz did that, because, like I said, they were kind of all at odds at the moment, because, she's seeing it for what it is. Justin's got, rose-colored glasses on.
Yeah.
And, so that was kind of, the mess with them. But yeah, so, then that's like the first, and I'm like, okay, like something's up. And then he had called me, I'd say shortly after, where he was like distraught because she was doing a collab with two people or something, and he knew like where it was, what she was going to do. He did not like that. And then like after that, that's when she promised, like, I won't do it again. So he was fine with that. He's like, fine with the ranch, not fine with that. So they had agreement that she wouldn't do it from that there on out. So that's like really like the beginning of April, whenever I was aware that they were having issues.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
How about you, Liz? When were you aware of stuff going on? What did Justin tell you?
So like I wasn't really aware in like April. Like I just knew he changed up. He wasn't who I knew he was. He wasn't calling me every day. He wasn't he was he was really weird. Like he got super weird and like it's just unexplainable. And he didn't talk to me. Like he unblocked me. He would message me and say something smart and then block me again. And he did that like 3 different times between April to May.
That was
And
crazy.
yeah, so like that's literally what he did. So 3 different times between April and May. And then he finally messaged me, let me see, in June. Well, May 13th is when he was like, message Emily about the collab. And I was blocked up for a week and a half up to this. Like, he just randomly unblocked me, called me, and was like, you need to message her now. And I'm like you have a lot of explaining to do. I haven't even talked to you in like 2 months, like off and on, maybe 3, 4 times. Like what is going on? And that's when I messaged her and said that. And then
So you knew you had to like fish for information.
yeah,
So obviously,
like I didn't really know anything.
Right.
And then his so I'm blocked on 6/7. I'm unblocked on 6/12. And then he's like, I'm glad we talked. I'm trusting you to not get in your feelings and blow all this up for us. I know how hard this is going to be for you to make choices you have. But if you do, our lives are going to change so much. I'm sorry for hurting you and shutting you out. And you didn't leave me no choice. Then you tried to turn her against me and then tell me you're going to be there. You're not going to be there anymore. Like you wanted to hurt me and for me to be alone. And then like he's literally just going off and like, I love you so much. Just show up at this filming because this is like him trying to stage my filming. Okay. And he's like, just show up at the filming, you're gonna be sexy as fuck and we'll talk more about it. Come up with some shock value. Like
yeah,
I know.
and I haven't speak to him and how like it's been like 2 weeks at that point.
Yeah.
Or 3.
I want to add also, prior to that, whenever they first were gonna film, like I had messages from Justin where he wanted her to like stand up for their relationship. Like he didn't want this messy, crazy drama.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was not the situation at first. But then he told me like Emily was like, oh, like the messier, the more views, the messier the better, stuff like that. And then that's kind of when he like went on with that. Like he's like, okay, like you have a point, and like kind of went with that. But that was not the case at first.
No.
And then I think also during filming, he kind of was like, I don't like how messy this is you know what I mean? Like he
Right.
didn't like it.
Right.
And I really think that played a big role
In his,
in,
yeah.
you know, in his demise. Like I do. You know, because like, you know, what he was messaging me, you know, like he was hurt, like he was distraught and you know, like he was not okay.
Right.
So
There were some instances I read about he was very upset about phone calls being set up by
Mhm.
production and Emily and himself. Did you guys know anything about that?
yeah,
Yeah, we knew about it, but we don't know what was said because
yeah,
like he never said. He just kept saying it's really bad, Elizabeth. Like you don't understand. It's
yeah.
really bad. And like that's all he kept saying to me. He wouldn't go into detail.
Yeah, and like, cause she had put out a Snapchat that she like broke up with him at this point. You know, she's like, call him 40 fucking times a day. I got shit to do. You know, like
Yeah.
this. You know, and it's like, you know, that's the only way this man has to communicate. Like, are you joking? But anyway, um, so you know, he had called me and told me like, you know, like they would be talking, you know, like private
Yeah,
stuff.
like serious private
And
stuff.
like she was actually like they were recording because she'd be like, oh, production not here, and he's like, I know they're there. You know what I mean? Like they were there for like, you know, stints at a time because they flew.
Right.
You know, so, you know, and he could hear like, you know, stuff in the background, you know, things like that. And so he knew like she was recording him when he was unaware of it. And, you know, maybe also, well, not maybe, she was also using it as an excuse to yell at him
Yeah.
and like berate him because, you know, like she's like, oh, I had to do that because production's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, they weren't, you know, so there was also, you know, a double-edged sword with that one, because it was both ways, you know, but yeah, so he did tell me about that. And then, you know, and like I said, she posted that Snapchat, you know, like she's like, go, you know, go be with her. I'm assuming she means her.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, like breaking it off with him, but you know, like you know, he's like, I haven't talked to you because, you know, she was, you know, sending money, which when you send money to an inmate, you don't expect it back. I mean, how are they
No.
gonna give it back to you?
I
You
know.
know, so I don't even understand the point with that. But yeah, so like she, you know, what was it? It was like 3,000 at first. She had sent him, and then it was like 7,000, and now it's 9,000 that she sent him. You know, so I don't know like the actual number or anything, but I know like with what they were getting from doing the show, you know, like he was going to pay her back, you know, in some form, you know what I mean? But you know, she ended up because they couldn't pay him because that would be like paying
Exactly.
an inmate for a crime, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
So he had to sign a thing letting her have
The money.
the bulk,
Yeah.
and trust that she would give it to him. Because I remember I'm like, why the fuck would you do that?
Do that,
Like,
I
why
know.
wouldn't you give it to
I
me?
know.
Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, honestly, he's like, money is like a whole thing for me, Britt. But he's like, it'll show me like if she's
For
really
herself.
in it for me, or if she's just, you know, or if she's not. So
Yeah.
that was his, you know, outlook on that.
Right.
So.
Right. So when it came down to him getting the money from her,
Mhm.
do you know if she was really forthcoming or she was trying to screw him out of it or
Sorry. She was able to get advances. I know he said she was able to get advances,
right?
and she wasn't giving him his like anything from it.
Yeah.
You know, she would say she, you know, she didn't or couldn't, or you know what I mean, make up an excuse, and she wasn't giving him anything, you know, because it's his too, you know what I mean?
Right.
So but he was willing to give her the bulk, you know, of his portion to her to repay her for what she did spend on him though. Like that was supposed to be the agreement.
Right.
But even the amount that was, you know, stated that was left over that she was supposed to give him, she kept after he passed away. Like,
Yeah.
because, she could have gave it to his gram or something, you know, like for a memorial, something, you
Right.
know, because she had to pay, you know, all this money and, you know, for different things. Just paid $600 for his autopsy,
Yeah.
or toxicology
It's
report.
100, but then the autopsy 6.
Okay. Toxicology is 100, autopsy 600. You know, like I'm sure that would help. You know what I mean? Like they're older. They're on, you know, a fixed income at
Mhm.
this point, you know. So I thought that was pretty callous. I did.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys filmed in June?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then he passed away the following month in July.
July.
July 12th. Yeah.
So what happened between when you guys filmed and him passing away?
Um, basically them just fighting. Like
Me and
he
him got in a bad argument.
yeah, theirs kind of, went on for a little bit after filming, during filming, after filming. Um, but yeah, like mostly just the stuff with Emmy is, she lied about everything, just and the messages I had sent you, like he was just distraught. I guess at one point, I think it was during filming that I found out that he had sent her like a suicide letter.
Letter. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware of it because I remember asking him. He's like, "Well, yeah, because she fucking, she had like this dude. They went out to eat at the Roadhouse, and she was like, wouldn't talk to him in front of this guy, and then they went to a hotel, spent the night. The kid, I guess they both had kids there. They slept, they were drinking, and then he's like, she was sneak talking to me, like, because he can hear, because
Right.
whenever he's on there, she hears the door shut, and then she's like not talking loudly. And whenever they were at the restaurant, like she was in the bathroom, and these are 15-minute phone calls. Like, you're still in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, what about your child? Like,
Right,
where's
exactly.
where's
Yeah.
your kid?
Right.
Just, oh, he's outside the door. My stomach hurts. Things like that. So and he's not dumb. He's a very intelligent man. And very intuitive. He is intuitive. But so like, and then the next morning, like he heard the door shut, and then she was just walking the whole, like, for a good while, and he's like, "Where are you walking to?
Yeah.
Like, isn't your kid like in the hotel room? Like, where are you walking to?" And she kept lying and lying and lying, and finally she's like, "Oh, it was my friend Alex, who apparently is not straight. I don't know the proper way to say it
Right.
now. But so and he's like, he wouldn't lie that hard for it to be him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, why would I care?
Right.
So yeah, so like she was lying to him, playing head games, stringing him along, things like that. But he was very back and forth, like he's like, I love this girl so fucking much. Like, I don't know why I let myself get to this, point and like fall so hard for it. She doesn't even think that I love her, because I know like he did sabotage their friendship a little bit. Because I guess they dated pretty fresh,
Right. Right.
um,
Exactly.
and and he did sabotage like her reputation because he called her the day
Yeah,
of,
because he
and
really
he
put me on. Yeah, he
apologized.
really did put me on that show, and like that's another thing I'm really devastated about. Like I thought we were like true friends. I thought we were like best friends, and
Right.
he put me on that show and told me all these messages what to say, and I went along with it. And then I grabbed the phone. I grabbed the phone from her, said all what I needed to say, what he told me to say, and then he was like, "Well, you're just the crazy obsessive ex," or however he worded it in his own type of way. And like he just humiliated me like on national television, and I can just imagine if he did that, what else is he saying about me? Why am I getting dragged into this TV show to be humiliated when I'm just trying to be there for him and be his friend?
Yeah. But it got to a point where, like, he was like,
So we didn't
Emily
talk.
was very threatened by her. Essentially, that's what it was. So he felt the need, to like, like, I assure you, like, look, look at this. I could have did this, but I did this because I fucking love you. Like, he was really trying to like prove
Yeah.
his love for this girl. And I mean, and he told everybody, he wasn't like keeping it secret. He told Liz straight up, like, I love this girl.
I mean, he
Like,
blocked me every other day and just like
yeah, like it.
to just like yell at me, and I'm just like, Justin, this is just so bad for you. Like, what are you doing here? Like, you were doing so good for the last 6 years. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because yeah, whenever they got together, like I
And
said,
then so
it
yeah,
went
so
downhill.
like yeah, speaking on that, then after we done filming, I didn't talk to him that whole week. He blocked me again, then he unblocked me, called me twice that week. I just completely ignored it. Then he called me on July 12th, the day of him committing suicide. I answered it. I answered it at 9:30 in the morning. I was taking my son swimming. We talked. He was bawling, devastated. He was like, "I'm so sorry, Elizabeth, I did this to you. Like, you please gotta forgive me." He was going on and on. He was like, "You don't understand. It's Emily's son's birthday. She's not talking to me. This is really getting to me. I'm devastated. It's her." And like, he just kept repeating himself, like, it's her son's birthday. She's gonna regret it. it's her son's birthday and she's gonna like regret it. And I didn't understand what he meant at that time.
Right.
And I was like, Justin, okay, like you need to calm down. We'll talk about it, but you have a lot of explaining to do. Like you literally humiliated me. So I said, call me later. I'm gonna take him swimming. Well, he called me at 6, like it was like 6:12, 6:13. I didn't answer it. Got the phone call that night that he committed suicide. So he called me at 13, called you at what?
6:16.
6:16, and called Emily. Nobody answered, I guess. And then he did.
I'm so sorry, lady. I'm so sorry. I could tell that you loved him so much and you just wanted better for him and you just wanted him to be happy. And I'm so sorry
No.
that this happened. And it sounds like to me that Justin was carrying a lot of guilt for the
Yeah.
way that he handled things with the show, with Emily, with you guys. And he was just sitting on a
Yeah.
mountain of guilt.
Felt helpless, so, like, there's, it's not like, he has to rely on us answering or, people replying back, like he has to rely on, other people. And, and he just felt helpless.
But she was like playing with his head so bad, like to the point, like it was just no return. Like she sent in marriage certificates to the jail. Like she told him that she would let him adopt her son. Like I found out from 2 other inmates in there, and he was calling that his son, and like he didn't even know this kid. But like I don't know. I feel like distraught because I'm like, he had a relationship with my son for the first 2 years, like, and for him to be like, this is my son. Like I guess the guy that found him found his calendar that was like sitting beside him, and on the calendar it said on that date my son's birthday,
Which is Emily's
birthday. Kid's birthday, and it's like, why are you referring to that girl's son as your son? You don't even know this girl.
Right.
So yes, like I am mad about the whole situation because it is wrong. She just messed with his head so bad that it's unspeakable.
Yeah. And I mean, like, he wasn't perfect or anything, like I'm not, trying to put out there that he was like this angel. Obviously, he was in prison, but, like he was a good person. And, he was one of a kind. You don't ever find anybody like him,
Right.
you know.
What was her reaction when she got the news that Justin passed away?
Well, she had tried calling me earlier that day. I was having a lunch date with my daughter, and I messaged her. I was like, sorry, like I'm oblivious.
Yeah.
And so I was having a lunch date and I messaged her and I'm like, like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm out having lunch with my kid, like I'll get back to you. And she's like, I'm in fucking wherever she was. There's a park like Hershey Park, Six Flags, something like that,
Mhm.
with her kid for his birthday. And she's like, I can't fucking do this, like saying stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not really understanding what she's talking about, because I'm like, oh, have a great time, like, like I have no idea.
Right.
Um, and because it's not like she,
I'm the one that had to call her. Like Emily's already messaging, and Emily already knows the whole situation. And I'm the one that called Brittany because I found out, and I'm like, Brittany, like you got to look into this. Like I think Justin committed
because they had
suicide.
the age wrong. They had the age wrong.
Yeah.
They said he was 30. It was 34-year-old Justin. Yeah. We didn't know like the last name at that point in time.
Yeah.
And there's another Justin. I mean, he was much older, but I'm like, well, Justin's not 34.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I messaged his Graham. I'm like, have you heard from Justin? And I'm messaging him like, like, hey, get the fuck a hold of me, like right now, And then his grandma, like when she called me, like I knew.
Yeah, and like Emily just like I feel like nothing happened. She was going along with her day at like the park carnival, whatever they were at. Brittany was like, why the fuck didn't you tell me? And
But yeah, because I had no idea. Like I just told her, like I'm like I had no clue. Like, oh my god, like I'm so sorry, because like I just found out. I don't know the ins and outs. And like I said, I know Justin was definitely struggling with this girl. I understand that, but I guess you just have to know Justin. Like You know, like he's told me plenty of times, like, oh, you know, screw Liz, you know, but you just know if you know him, he
Right.
cares about Liz. He loves Liz, you know, that's just, he was angry, you know, like in those moments, like he doesn't actually mean, he would never want harm or anything to come to her, you know, like that's just who he is.
But he did call me, like, when he did film, like, he called me that day, you know, he committed suicide and was like, look, Elizabeth, I'm so sorry for what I said about you. I need you to just forgive me and not take any of that, like, to heart. Emily had me, like, completely brainwashed. Like, he did say all that. So I'm just nervous in what's going to be here to come.
Yeah. But yeah, the day of, because like I said, we didn't find out till the next day. But the day of, we have like a big fair. So I was at the fair. And even like when I talked to him the 2 days before, I don't know if like Emily was telling him, she was like posting stuff like in support of them. Cause like I said, they were so back and forth, you know, they really were.
Right.
Um, and like he would have me get on her socials and look at, you know, and it's like, you know, like I don't want to be your private investigator. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so you know, that was kind of like our last two phone calls were that. And then, you know, I'd missed the phone call, you know, that
Was
day.
he posting stuff in support of their relationship?
No, he was so sad at the end of the phone call. He was so fucking sad. He was so sad. And like, you know, like he didn't necessarily even tell me what he was looking for. He was just, you know, like
Right.
asking me different questions, like, you know, and whatever, you know, whatever answer I gave him, you know, like he was just so sad and distraught, you know. So, you know, and I'm honestly, you know, kind of stunned, you know, that he didn't, you know, wait to talk to me or something. But I mean, you know, I don't think people really think that's through when they do make a decision like that.
Right.
You know, I think it's like on a whim because I don't think there's any way he could have literally, you know, sat there and thought about everybody that cared about him and loved him, you know, and still did it. You know, I think it was just on a whim.
On a whim. So once you guys collected his stuff, the memorial service is being planned. Are you hearing from Emily at all?
No,
Not at all.
my last message to her was pretty quickly after he died, and I was like, you know, like if I find out this to be true, like you know, like that was the last message I ever sent her. I never talked to her again. I never said anything, you know, just
I don't know. Didn't I like flip out or something?
Yeah, you slipped out plenty of times. She's the dramatic one.
Like, I don't really know her response. It was like, I just said on July 30th, if I can say something, if you were any type of decent human being, you would use Justin's money that he got from the show to split and buy him a plot site or a stone. But I forgot you're not a decent human. Just never responds. Left me on red like the whole entire time.
Ugh.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, Liz, he was telling me so much about you, to telling me that you were saying the same stuff to him also. I am like, because I said, how could you ever tell him to go kill himself and blah blah blah. And he said, and she said that he was saying that I was saying that also. And she said, I'm beyond sorry he was telling us different stories about one another.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you were saying that too, that doesn't give her the okay to go do it. Like she had a boyfriend that passed away prior. He OD'd.
Yeah.
You know, like so, and she's you know gutted about this. You know, like she's upset about this,
Right.
and this is a big thing to her.
And she's always posting him and like making him.
So why would you? What do you mean? You were saying this too. So let's tell me you're saying it.
Yeah.
You know, why would you do that knowing that this man, you know, like
Yeah.
you have this man over here lost his life. You know what I mean? Like it just because I did tell her that too. I said, you know, you know, you've been through this. You of all people, you know what I mean? Like should know. You know, so yeah, it's just it's sad. I can't wrap my mind around like how her, you know, like our relationship, you know, back when we were kids, I put him through the ringer, you know what I mean? We were toxic.
Yeah,
and
him were very,
you know, they had their relationship. Liz put him through some shit, you know, and he never took his life, you know what I mean? Like he never, you know, yeah, like it just pisses me off. I'm just angry and just sad, and I don't have, you know, and I'm never gonna have the answers to all
Right.
my questions either.
Did you hear from the show at all?
afterward, she did.
The producer was like, I'm so sorry. I sent, that screenshot to my friend. I'm so sorry. And literally, like, just you'll get a platform following, nothing. Well, after we went to the funeral home, we found out that the producers flew back in to film Emily for a tribute on Justin dying. After she couldn't even make it to the funeral home or nothing, she didn't address anything. But she addressed it on the show. She made sure that they did a whole site, a whole tribute. So
yeah, because you had asked them, like,
and I
me
flipped,
and
that's
you.
when I went off. That's when they were like, oh, I flipped on them. And they're like, oh, you'll get a platform following too.
Yeah.
We're sorry we didn't reach out to you, Brittany, or the Graham and Justin's Graham. And I was like, but you reached out to Emily? She don't give no fucks about him.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, she's like, why can't me and Brittany, like, why can't we speak our piece and do our, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's, they weren't having it. I mean, I did talk to the one lady. She wasn't like part of like production, I don't think. But she was very nice, like I bawled her on the phone. But yeah, like, I mean, she was nice, but not who she spoke to, I don't believe. So,
Oh, did you ever talk to anyone about not having the show aired?
Yeah. A couple different people. I mean, I reached out to a lawyer too, and he said after I sent him the contract, there's no getting out of it.
Right.
Nothing. Because Justin even, I think, what was it, like,
you even said anything, it says may cause death or injury or
so
like
right before we filmed, Justin wanted to get out of it. Justin was like, I don't want this aired. I don't want anything. Like, I want this figured out. Like, I don't want this to be on TV. Like, this is humiliating.
He's really
Yeah, and
upset.
he was
doesn't
really
want his grandma is, well, not even just his grandma, but his family.
He's like, my cares about his image a lot. And he was like, it's going to ruin my image, Elizabeth. Like, we need to try to get this stopped. And that's when he was like, please reach out to a lawyer. And that's when I did all that. And like, I'm like, Justin, there's nothing we can do about it. But even after he passed away, then I reached out to them again. And they're like, there's still nothing we can do about it. And I'm like,
and I knew they were going to air it. I said, because I told her the day he passed away.
I said, the producers not
they
to air
just, that just skyrocketed their views, girlfriend. They're airing it. I knew they were going to.
Yeah.
I just knew. Not that I mean, it is nice to see him alive,
I know,
but
like, I guess
the
it's
context behind the show,
Right,
no.
exactly. And
like
and
the drama.
be on TV with is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What do you want the fans that are going to be watching this new season in January to keep in mind while they're watching Justin's scenes?
what's done in the dark will always come to light. There's stuff that goes on behind the scenes, obviously. So because I know, like, Justin straight said, like, he's like, I don't care if she makes me look like, he knew that he was going to be painted to be a certain way, just because of how she was going. But yeah, just
remember, a lot of it's staged. A lot of it is just for views, like her acting the way she's acting and treated him. But at the end of the day, like, her treating him like that really affected him and his mental health.
Yeah.
And even if it was for her views of her types of stuff, like,
yeah, because this man, like,
he took everything to heart.
Yeah, and like, that was like another thing about him, like in his childhood. He was actually in a high-speed chase whenever he was 13 years old, and he wrecked going 90 miles an hour and died of, on scene. And because he was running away from his mom. His mom had like a drinking problem, all his life, and he always had to, he had to take care of her, just different things like that. She struggled herself, like she was so beautiful, oh my goodness, but he, wrecked this car, going 90 miles an hour on the turnpike. And, like I said, he passed away. Then, they didn't think he was going to make it. They had his family signing like papers, to donate his organs. They did not think he was going to make it because they had to fly him, to another hospital and stuff.
Wow.
And, and he did, like, they had to put him in a coma and stuff, but he came out of it, eventually. And, he was in a wheelchair for 2 years, like, he lived for a reason, and he should fucking be here.
Yeah.
He should be here.
I'm so sorry.
Especially speaking on his name, like, he should let this show like trash him.
He should be able to talk.
I know. Oh.
He didn't survive that for nothing.
And you ladies are here on a very special day. It's his birthday.
Yeah.
And you ladies are going to be putting out his legacy for everyone to truly know
Yeah.
who he was.
Yes.
Yeah, we even got him a birthday cake.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't know how to turn it around.
oh,
Yeah.
Where's those actions?
how old would
And
he?
then that's him sitting here.
How old would he have been today?
36.
Happy heavenly birthday, Justin. Well, ladies, I'm going to be here when the season starts.
Okay.
And as you know, the episodes air and things start to unfold, you will always have my channel as a platform to clear up misconceptions. I can
Right.
put you guys on and we could talk about the episodes as they air and
Yeah.
clear things up
I
because
did that.
unfortunately things are going to be twisted on TV
Mhm.
for the dramatic effect and for ratings and
Yeah.
things like that. But this is a real person we're talking about who suffered the real effects.
Mhm.
And it wasn't even like just us he reached out to. Like he had friends,
Right.
like he had, childhood friends,
Multiple.
things like that. And he reached
Mhm.
out, like, listen, I'm in this relationship, like I can't get out of it. And, like just, the show and just everything, So like, he was reaching out to multiple people. Like he really struggled. He really did. And he's always been so strong. So
Right, I know. I'm so sorry.
thank you.
Sorry. Is there anything else that you would like the viewers to know before the season starts?
Just keep an open mind, I guess.
Yeah,
Just keep
keep
an
an
open
open
mind.
mind.
I have no idea how they're gonna, they can
Yeah, they can portray it
chop and
however
screw it,
they
however they want.
Right.
We're not really sure how it's gonna be received.
The
But
only thing we've
just keep
seen
an open
so
mind.
far, which I want to ask you guys, is the cake throwing scene.
Yeah. What about
That was just like, okay, I think I like this.
Yeah. I figured that was gonna be like a meme or something.
I know. It's
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
But yeah, me and him had that argument because he talked to me like that whole week prior. Then I filmed that first day. I did what he said he wanted me to do, and then he didn't back me up. Then the next day I filmed with Emily, and that's when he was supposed to call Emily and end it with her and like say all this stuff that he was gonna do, and he never did
I
it.
didn't follow through with it. He couldn't.
And then it was just, yeah, it got really bad. And then that's when the cake scene got involved and all that.
Well, it's not necessarily a cake scene, but
Yeah, it's not a cake
you'll see
scene,
in the
but
show.
we're just saying it's cake because
everybody else
everybody else keeps saying
right.
You'll
Okay.
see in the show.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
so, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Thank you. It's been nice talking to
Telling
you.
your story, and we will definitely see you back. I'm gonna
Okay.
bring you ladies back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely want to maybe
Absolutely.
speak on after it comes out. We know what all is being said, and
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. We'll let a couple of episodes come out, and I'll bring you
Mhm.
guys back.
And let people. I was very out of my element. I am not used to being on camera, so if I look like an idiot, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Don't judge me. Do not judge me. Oh
Like
my goodness.
Justin, I was doing this for you. I
Yes,
did it.
solely because
Yeah, because
solely
it
for
was
Justin.
bad.
Yes. Oh my
We
goodness.
both were had to get retaked like 4
Yeah.
different
I think at
times.
one point I'd like it was like misting, like raining. I think I had water up to my knees. I'm like sweating. Oh my god, it was a mess. I'm like, I just know I look like a hot mess on there, but well, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever.
So, yeah.
Okay, ladies, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Yes.
And see you
Thank you
next
so much.
Thank you.
I can't keep doing this. I don't want to keep entertaining you. Like, you called me 40 times one day. I'm busy. I'm fucking busy. Find someone else to occupy your time. I can't. like, well, maybe I will. Please do! Please do! I'm begging you! Just fucking do it! Like, I can't, just call her! So I don't have to deal with you! I told him I will make an Instagram for him, and I will share it, and he can go get photos done, and I will try to find him people to talk to, but you gotta stop talking to me as much like I am. I think that's reasonable. Like, I am helping you probably expand your contact list. I'm trying to help you because I cannot deal with how much you fucking call me. Like, I love when the universe gives me signs, like that sign just said bump. Like, yeah, you fucking right. I love when the universe gives me signs. You're gonna be any fucking good to me right now. Yeah, you guys are all fucking stupid. I don't care about you unless you're in jail because you're not gonna be any fucking good to me right now.
Everyone's day's going good. Mine is going. Start out by being screamed at for hours. And then I just came home to a lovely letter. Lovely letter. And it's all over money. A man literally wrote me a suicide letter because I won't send him $6,000.